whenever I hear you talk about this, you're ignoring the whole other half of it. Like just talking about how in 1948, these other Arab nations wouldn't agree to recognize Israel. It's like, yeah, but why is that? Like what happened throughout 1947 and 1948? Look, the UN partition, the General Assembly in the United Nations had no authority to create nations. They put a recommendation, a partition recommendation that gave the Zionists 56% of the land and the Palestinians 44% of the land. And this was by no argument fair. There is nobody who could possibly argue that either the Jewish population or the Jewish percentage of land owned justified them getting 56% of the land. But the Jews immediately started violently evicting Palestinians out of their side of the partition. And okay, where in 1948, when the other Arab nations finally invaded, almost none of the fighting was done on the Jewish side of the partition. It was almost all done on the Palestinian side of that partition because the Zionists had already moved well beyond what the UN gave them. And then after that, they took about 78% of the land. And then after 67, they essentially took the rest. Now, your point about Camp David 1, that is, when you talk about Camp David in the late 1970s, I understand this is what all, and believe me, I'm Jewish. I've grown up around this. I'm so well versed in the pro-Israel point of view here. But it's funny that people always go, look, Israel was happy to give land for peace. And okay, that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is that they got peace. They've had peace with Egypt and Jordan ever since. And so now to your later point about the idea that the Palestinians have had all of these offers and they always turn it down. I know it makes for a great slogan, but you know, they never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity, or we have no partner for peace, or a people without land, or a land without people. The problem is all of these slogans are lies. They're not true. And I would highly recommend to everybody listening, and to you, sir, personally, because I know you are a reader and you actually know this stuff, read Clayton Swisher's book, The Truth About Camp David. This guy went around and spent 3 years interviewing everyone who was a part of those negotiations. And the official story that Arafat just walked away and he had such a good offer, but he wouldn't take it, is not true. And all of the players involved admit this.